Hello, everybody. It's time for Rose Garden Radio, live from the very center of the universe, Canton, Ohio. Yay. Well, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm really glad I'm here. And if this is your first time to Rose Garden Radio, this is a program that's dedicated to helping you shift from 3D to 5D, living your life fully from your heart and living your dream life. And that's all very real and possible for you. And many times I do these little pie stories, PIE, and I do have one that is lining up, but I am have been doing a deep dive on the final edit of my young adult series. Is the first volume called A Weekend with Aunt Larana and the Sisterhood of the Golden Rose. And you've been helping me edit this, and just it just helps just being able to read it out loud to an audience, and many of you have given me some feedback in one way or another, and so I really appreciate that. So I'm on the fast track. It's my goal is to get this uploaded onto Amazon, which I've never done before, and in a couple of months. So or less. So, anyways, I really, really, really appreciate it. So, last week we had Ami and Aunt Larana and their friend and Elizabeth Lebrun are in France, and it's the evening of the ambassador's ball, and they were just at dinner, and Amy had this great idea that they should bring Elizabeth to the ball. So that's where we left off, and I'm going to start right there. Let's see. Okay, here we go. After a quick stop for Elizabeth's gown, we headed to the ball. I could feel my internal energy heighten when our carriage stopped before an elaborate wrought iron gate. We have arrived at the Cour d'Honneur. It's the official entrance to the Palace of Versailles and means the Court of Honor. I am so excited you get to experience all of this firsthand, dear one. I feel Versailles is one of the grandest palaces of all time, Aunt Larana whispered into my ear. I felt like I needed a reality check as our carriage passed through the elaborate gates that were flanked by at least a dozen guards, and we moved closer towards the palace. I stared awestruck as we passed by ornate flowers, peacocks, and sculptures nestled in the elaborate gardens on either side of us. The sculptures seemed to have a life of their own in the twilight. I tried to take everything in like I would never see it again. In no time, our carriage slowed to a complete stop in front of the palace. Mademoiselles, Philippe said as he held out his hand and helped each one of us out of the carriage and onto the portico. I felt tingles run up and down my spine when my feet touched the ground. However we got here, this was real, and we were about to enter the Palace of Versailles. Elizabeth, please feel free to go with your own flow tonight. Ami and I want you to just enjoy and let destiny take you where it may. If we get separated or you need to leave early, Philippe will be here waiting for you. Larana, Elizabeth said, looking like a deer in the headlights for a moment. This feels so final. I feel like I will never see you again, she said as tears welled up in her eyes. My aunt hugged Elizabeth and gave her a magical laugh. You will see me again, Elizabeth, and when we meet, it will seem like no time has passed at all. Just like I said earlier, she smiled compassionately. Let me say that one more time. You will see me again, Elizabeth, and when we meet, it will seem like no time has passed at all. Just like I said earlier at dinner. She smiled compassionately. I think I'll leave that just as I said earlier. I'm not going to change that. Um, I knew I was in a palace the minute we entered into the enormous foyer. Tall candelabras were scattered around the room, and paintings with ornate gold frames hung on the walls. The color gold was everywhere. I looked up and noticed even the ceiling was covered in gold. It is the present custom for the host to greet their guests in the foyer before we enter the ballroom, Aunt Larana said as we walked deeper into the room. I forgot how formal everything is here, but I like it now and again, my aunt whispered to me as we approached the receiving line. My niece, Ami Hill, and friend Elizabeth Lebrun, Marquis, I heard Aunt Larana say softly to the man standing just ahead of us next to the receiving line. Perhaps it was being in the Palace of Versailles or about to meet royalty, but I suddenly felt excited and very nervous at the same time. I watched as the man turned toward the couple standing to his right. Mademoiselle Larana, her niece Ami Hill, and their good friend Elizabeth Lebrun. Mademoiselles King Louis XIV and his wife, Queen Marie Antoinette, welcome you to their homes, he said, then turned around to receive the next guest. Please, call me Marie, the young queen said, smiling into our eyes. I see you have been to La Grande Mogale. I almost chose the very same gown to wear tonight myself. I love your taste, Marie said to Elizabeth, admiring her dress. The queen looks a lot like Drew Barrymore, I wanted to whisper to my aunt, unable to control my excitement. Marie, it is so good to see you again. It has been a while, Aunt Larana crooned as she curtsied. I should say curtsied in front of the queen, but we'll see. I can see that it has been, and I must catch up with you tonight, Marie said, emphasizing must and locking eyes with my aunt to relay the importance of her message. I would enjoy that, Aunt Larana said smoothly as we moved forward along the receiving line. Well, at least it isn't a mass ball, I said with relief as we proceeded down the long receiving line. I remember reading about them in my history of art classes. That might have been fun, Aunt Larana laughed. A treaty of alliance has been reached for the first time between France and the United States of America. Benjamin Franklin is currently ambassador to France and will be officially recognized by the French court tonight, along with other United States commissioners. This is a really big deal and a huge night for our country, my aunt said, filling me in. History was in the making right now, and I was here for it. My shoes are really comfortable, Aunt Larana. I know that might be a silly thing to notice right now, but they are, I said, looking around and craning my neck up towards the ceiling. Yes, I agree. It's been some time since I've worn a pair of hand-sewn shoes like this. Shoes were all custom-made to fit your foot in the days of old, my aunt informed me. That is one reason why they are so comfortable. I do hope we can take a tour around the palace at some point tonight so you can see as much of it as possible, Aunt Larana whispered in my ear. I could tell she was excited for me. I noticed another dignitary greeted her by name as we made our way through the line. Marie will summon me sometime tonight to her private quarters, and I will bring you with me, of course, Aunt Larana promised. This was all feeling very strange. How did so many people seem to know my Aunt Larana? You know, Marie Antoinette, I stated more than asked as I looked at my aunt with questioning eyes. You would make a great detective, Ami, my aunt laughed good-naturedly. You don't miss a detail. Marie and I are both sisters of the Golden Rose, Aunt Larana said to my unasked question. I think you and Abigail were right. I am coming back here to plant seeds that will help our sisters remember who they are in the future. Marie's Golden Rose is very strong presently in the sisterhood. I can't wait until we find her again, Aunt Larana said dreamily. This was all getting confusing, yet it was making more sense to me all of the time. My aunt is part of the ancient sisterhood of the Golden Rose. We are in 1778 at the Palace of Versailles on a historic night. And oh, my aunt is activating the sisterhood in our present time since they seem to have all lost their memories. Okay, I can handle this, I told myself. When we reached the end of the reception line, we automatically flowed into the ballroom. It was so breathtakingly magnificent. Looking at images and reading details in my history of art books was one thing, but to actually be here right now was another. Just breathe on me. It's like we are in a waking dream in a way, yet it is far more real than the reality you are used to. Everything will be all right. Just enjoy yourself tonight, Aunt Larana said, instantly calming me by putting her arm around my shoulder. I think that's good for today, and I'm excited to we're moving through this. We're over halfway through, and even a little more. Really, we're probably 2/3 of the way through the book. And I greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys. So until next time, have a beautiful Sunday, have a beautiful week, and I'll look forward to getting with you again. Okay. Bye-bye. I love you all.